Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm so excited to present this information to you today. We're going to be talking about if solar is really worth it. This is my 60-day review on my DIY grid tie system. And without further ado, let's get to it. So first off, let's talk about the overview of my grid tie system. So I have a Growatt Min 7600 TL XH US inverter. And then we have 20 JAWS Solar GM72 S10 405/MR solar panels. They have approximately 20% efficiency. And then for rapid shutdown, I went with the 10 of the Tigo TS4AF rapid shutdown modules. And those work with the inverter. The inverter has a built-in PLC power line communication to shut off the solar panels in case of emergency or power outage. And for system specs, that inverter has a max output of 7,600 watts, and I have 8,100 watts of solar panels. That is if you get maximum efficiency out of them. Of course, the amount of sun, dust coverage, clouds, how much heat there is has an effect on your overall efficiency rating. Now, that generates me about 1.1 to 1.4 kilowatts per month so far. Some unexpected side effects of going solar. I'm really aware of my consumption now. I leave a light on, nobody's in the room. The AC, I'm turning it up a little bit at night. So it really made me hyper aware of how much energy that I'm using on a daily basis. So that's a big benefit in my mind. And crazily enough, I'm looking forward to the energy bills to see what kind of savings I got every month. Kind of crazy. Never thought I'd be looking forward to a bill, but I definitely am, and I'm very aware of what's going on in my household now. Speaking of that, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I'm starting to remind myself of my father. I'm yelling at the kids, hey, don't leave that door open. We're not heating the outside. We're not cooling the outside. Keep that light off if you're not in the room. All those good things. So, might be a good thing. I don't know. The jury's still out. I'm sure my kids don't enjoy it. Alright, so let's get to the initial cost of going DIY solar. So I got a comparison in here too with a quoted system, just to give you guys an idea if you don't want to do a DIY yourself. So my overall total cost was $10,500 to install this from start to finish. That includes the equipment, permitting. I paid a little bit of money to a guy to help me put him up on the roof, which if you're going to be doing this yourself and you don't like being on the roof, you better get some help. I sure did. So anyway, that's a total cost, and then from a couple quotes that I received for similar size system, not the exact same equipment, same manufacturer, anything like that, but same total specs. It was somewhere between $25,000 to $33,000. I got 3 different quotes, and they were all within that range. And it was all name brand equipment. Nobody was really trying to get over on me. But you can see that's a lot of dollars to be investing. Now, with this initial cost of $10,500, I estimated it would take me just about 6 years to pay it off at $100 savings. Now, if you're doing the same calculation on the Pro installed system at $25,000, that would take you a little over 15 years to pay off at $100 savings. All right, so if environmental impact's important to you, and for me, it wasn't a real big factor in why I wanted to do this, but it is helpful to know that I'm reducing my carbon. Every little bit helps. So this is the output from my Growatt inverter on the Shine app that comes with it. And then this is a rolling calculation that it does. Now how accurate it is, I can't say, but if it's anywhere close, hey, it's a great thing. So for CO2, you see there's 1,106 kilograms reduced, 152 trees saved, and then coal savings, 1,106.2 kilograms as well. So, if those numbers are anywhere close, or even if that's two times more than what it really is, it's still a good benefit, doing a little bit on my part. Now, let's get to the bones of it and take a look at what I'm actually producing. So, this is my monthly solar production so far to date. You can see I just started in April of 2022, and I only had about, three or 4 days approximately that it was actually on. And so I had 133.8 kilowatt hours. Now in May, we have 1,184.6 kilowatt hours. And then June up until, there was still a few days left in June, but it was 1156.7 kilowatt hours. Now, actually, that June ended up finishing out right above the 1300 mark. So, I took this a few days before the end of June. Now, a breakdown of the May output on a daily basis, you can see there's quite a bit of differences from the really sunny days and cool days compared to cloudy days. You see there's 3 different days where the output was at or near 10, and those were really cloudy, really stormy days all day long. And then the really good days are up in the 50s. So you're going to have a little bit of ups and downs with the weather, and it's going to affect your solar panels, but on average, it's all going to balance out. So there's my May. Now June, you can see there wasn't quite as many bad days in June. My bad days in June were around 20, and my good days again were up over 50. So that's why June I got a little more production than May. All right, well, let's take a look at the utility bill from my company. So overall, the total was $61. Of that $61, there's a $37 distribution facility charge, and if I generate 100% enough to cover it, I'm still going to have that bill. So I only used $18, $19 worth of electricity this period. And now this period did cover about a week of non-solar. So it started about mid-April to about mid-June is the billing cycle. So it's not month for month kind of. So it's a little bit off in this comparison, but you can see my total bill was $61. Now let's take a look at June. My June utility, the total bill, I'm excited to say, was $17. So of that distribution facility charge that I'm getting charged, I was able to cut away at a good portion of it because I generated more electricity than I actually used in this June billing cycle. So you can see I got a credit of $26 plus 17 cents, and so that got my bill down to $17. So super excited about that. Now in a comparison of May of 2021 to May of 2022, you can see my May of 2021 was $130. My May of 2022 was $61. So that saved me $69. Now, if you look up in the graph in the at the top, you can see the solar wasn't active in the first week. So those green bars is how much that I actually used, and you can see the ones going, and the negative is where I'm generating more power than I used. And then the black line is the temperature throughout the month. And you can see the difference in temperature was 3 degrees Fahrenheit average, or actually average was 6 degrees Fahrenheit more this year than it was last year during the month. So that should show you that $69 savings should be a little bit more, and it will be when we look at the next one. Alright, as you can see with our June bill compared from 2021 to 2022, my 2021 bill was $195. My 2022 bill, $17. $178 savings compared to last year. Amazing. Super excited, above what I thought. You can see I used about 1,300 kilowatt hours in 2021, but in 2022 I generated 448 more kilowatt hours than I actually used. Now part of this might have something to do with I did replace my AC unit earlier in the year with a more efficient unit, and we'll see how that pans out over time, because I also added an additional mini split unit and I'm running it in my workshop at all times now. So we'll see how it compares when I do my annual review of this, and I'll post that video when I come around to doing it next year around June. So in conclusion, we had $123 monthly savings over those 2 months, which is above my $100 estimate. And the new calculated payoff, if we take our $10,000 initial system costs, subtract $2,600 for the federal tax credit, so the total system cost is $7,400, and we divide that by our annual savings, which is $1,476, that gives us about a 5-year payoff, just over 5 years. That is phenomenal. So 20 plus years of basically free energy, right? At least 90% coverage, because we'll have some degradation over time, and maybe usage will go up, maybe it'll go down. Hopefully we get more efficient over time, but who knows. The reduced carbon footprint, a big bonus. It wasn't my first goal, but it's great to have. And then increased awareness on our energy efficiency. So not only am I creating my own power, but I'm being more efficient about how I'm using my power and cognizant of those factors. So I think overall it's great. It's well surpassed what my expectations were in going solar, and hopefully this information will help you and decide which way you want to go. It may not be for everybody. If you don't have net metering and you have to add a battery capable system, there might not be any ROI, return on your money, because the battery costs are very high. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you go down into the description, I'll have a promo code that you can use at Renvu Solar. I bought some of my gear there. I didn't buy it all there, but you get a couple % off. I'll get a little bit of a kickback, and everybody be happy. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on What's Next DIY.